Yes, I think.
You're recording?
Yeah.
That's the one I was looking for. I know you're mentally ready. You've been ready.
Oh,
for
yeah.
days.
No. It's all good.
1,
2.
That's a great start. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
And one of those sons is Epic.
Yes.
And by Epic, I mean registered onto the Epic database of known players. And the best part is that I don't mean to like spoil the punchline, is that, but he gave himself away.
Yep.
In a way that only a kid can,
Yep.
where he gets himself in trouble by saying a little too much. So Jeff, explain how your kid is Epic.
So you raise kids and you teach them,
You see, when you become a dad.
you ask for permission, you don't lie to mom and dad, we want the truth, blah, 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 right? So, of course, the kid, as they're younger, for sure that happens. They're telling you most of the time everything that they do in their lives, constantly, every day. And then as they grow up, maybe, say, an 11-year-old lets it slip that they have their own Epic Games Store account.
Jeez.
When asked about just, a certain game that appeared free on the Epic Games Store. So, like, my 11-year-old, just to give kind of a background, has been playing Fortnite with some of his friends, and he's been using the PS4, so under my account, so nothing to do with Epic Games. And then I see a free game that's on the Epic Games Store account this week, and I think it's Terraforming Mars. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That used to be a board game, or it is a board game. Be kind of neat to see it on PC. And my son jumps in, well, would you like me to get that for you, Dad? And I'm just like,
How would you do that, son?
what, you want to pay? Like, it doesn't cost any money, so how would you get it? Oh, no, through my account. I'm like,
I thought, I would have assumed that he already gave it up, but you gave him an out,
yeah.
right? Because he was like, oh, yes, I meant that I would give you money for it.
Right, he could have self-corrected there. Does
he double down?
He did not, and he just said, yeah, my account on Epic, and nothing. Don't worry, Dad, nothing. I'm like, no. Wait.
Wait, at that point he tried to get out of it?
At that point, it was...
No, never mind.
Too late, and he was trying to get out of it, and of course, in like kid language where he's trying to back up, like, you saw nothing, you heard nothing.
Hides under a sheet.
A dream.
Hope you don't notice.
Behind the curtain. I'm hiding. So we just had a little conversation about, you can't sign up for these accounts. First of all, I know nobody reads those stupid dialogue boxes where they're like, you must be 16 and over to sign up for this account. No, my kid obviously just did it, and I'm asking all sorts of questions, just like, okay, well, obviously there's no credit card or payment system linked up to it, but, what username are you? I don't want to see.
Which email did you have an email? Did you sign up for email?
Well, that's another question. I'm like, what email did you use? What password did you use, right? Because you could be used like it's Blue Sky 123, and then
password 123.
Password 123, exactly. So, or your favorite Pokemon or something. So there's lots of questions that came after that.
That's amazing. That's wild to think that our kids could be signing up for accounts, because yours aren't. They're fairly far off, but like
I think so.
I guess he has his own email account.
Yes.
But just kind of for the first time, he's kind of venturing out without your permission. Mm-hmm. He's not going through Dad anymore to set up his game accounts. Instead, it was just, this looks great, I'm gonna go ahead and sign up. No need to talk to Dad.
Right. And this kind of bleeds into other things where we're wondering now, because a few episodes ago he was trying to get on Discord, right? And he made a little presentation, and we just asked one question, like, you just need to tell us this thing, and he never came back and explained it, so we never okayed it. Now I'm wondering, does he have a Discord account?
Just sign up for Discord.
So
Whatever happened to your presentation, son? Oh, it's fine.
It's
it got
fine.
taken
Yeah,
care of.
exactly. Exactly. They don't need to know. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just giving up the ghost. My goodness. So what's the ultimate thing? Are you gonna just let them have the account and then try to do your best to set boundaries, see how it goes? Did you take it away? What was the thought?
Yeah, I didn't take it away or anything. Just kind of like was taken aback. Just, what do you mean? Like, kind of proud of you, but what do you mean?
Low key proud of you, son, but come on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was just a quick conversation. Like, no, okay, like we need to make sure your password's secure. What account is it? And these are all the things that you just can't do. So just make sure you abide by those rules. We'll let it go for now. But like, if I see like purchases somehow come out of it, right? We will have an issue. So he understood, but I kind of wanted to dig deeper and just see what other secret accounts there were or whatever. But who knows? That may be for another day when he slips up.
God, that is amazing. Well, nice that he's offering to get you games, though.
Yeah, that's right. Under his account on his computer. Thanks.
He'll let if you're good.
Yeah, that's right.
If you do your chores, he's gonna allow you to use his computer and play a little bit of games
For my birthday. Here you go, Dad.
Right.
Here's your
Then
free
he'll
game.
then he'll kick you off.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's enough.
That's enough. That's enough screen time for you, Dad. You're falling asleep.
Now, one way he could play Fortnite is through the Microsoft account, which as a sentence is a real weird thing to come out of my mouth. Like it is a wild time. So in order to play an Epic game on your iOS device, you can now use your Microsoft Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I'll try to explain it again. So this news came through this week, and you and I were trying to sort out all those details where Microsoft reached some sort of deal with Epic Games. So as it's known, Fortnite was kicked off of the iOS iPhones, or kicked off iPhones, specifically iOS, but kicked off iPhones because they had tried to circumvent their payment system. Big no-no for iPhone. You have an app on iPhone, they want you to use their iPhone payment system. So, they get their cut. They get their
money.
beak wet.
Yep.
Cash one. They get kicked off. It's a big hullabaloo. They have not returned. They have found a way in through Xbox Game Pass. Now, Game Pass itself is a little weird because it's not an app.
Right.
Like the Xbox Game Pass itself on your iPhone. So you have your iPhone, you can go through the browser, so gamepass.com. Then you can stream games to your phone through a browser, not an app, which is already weird.
Yeah.
So to finish the whole thing, so Epic gets kicked off. Fortnite is no longer on any iPhones. Microsoft themselves get an app kicked off. They instead have something. They build something that lets you play games through the browser on your iPhone. So now Epic is working with Microsoft and their game streaming browser service to bring Fortnite back to the iPhone. But the wild thing is it's free. So Game Pass, especially streaming to a device like that, costs like it's one of their higher tiers to be able to do game streaming.
Yeah.
But through the deal, like Microsoft, you can now have this free version of game streaming to bring Fortnite back to your iPhone. So if you're desperate for your Fortnite fix, you can get a Microsoft account and stream it to your iPhone. Jeff, will you be doing this?
This is a lot to take in. Like, there's so many
parts
to it, and it's very similar to our previous story where like Daddy Apple is like, why is Fortnite on here? Do you mean like Epic and Microsoft are the ones conspiring behind like, oh, we just have an account that we just slipped through your fingers, right? Like, oh, what do you mean? But yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of cool. I don't know. Like, I could play this again on my phone. I mean, I had downloaded it before it got kicked off. But I don't know. Fortnite kind of seems like it's gone back to a little bit more combat in that other mode. I might jump in, see what's up, and get in that Game Pass stuff that you've been pushing on me.
Yeah. And all the listeners, for every week now, it's just been nothing but Trevor shills for Microsoft.
That's right. So you never know. I just get my feet wet a little bit more and see what it's all about. See how the streaming is. You say it's good, right?
It is vastly improved. So recently, last couple of episodes, I've been talking about myself playing Tunic. For the first half of the game that I've played, like it was all streaming.
Wow.
To the point where to try it, I just streamed it, And then the next like couple sessions, I didn't really think to download it, and I was just playing it streaming, and I did not notice whatsoever that I was streaming.
Isn't that
And then
wild? Like,
and then during one, yeah, it's crazy. And then during one of the sessions, like it just blipped for a second. I'm like, oh, that's right. I haven't installed this. This is just streaming live, like as I'm playing it. Wow.
like
So that's a big change from when this thing first launched.
yeah,
But
it's like you don't even. At first, it was like, I don't even need this physical disc. I'll get it digitally. Now it's like I don't even need to do that. I'll just have it in the air.
I don't even the bits. I'm just gonna have it on someone else's server, and I'll
That's
just
right.
tap into them.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's also it is wild. It's interesting to see. I do like to see when like other companies tend to work together, even if this isn't the best of circumstances, because Apple and Epic had that awful battle, and then Fortnite, picked up their ball and went home.
yeah,
And fine, you big money making corporations are having a fight, but there are a lot of people who like to play Fortnite on the iPhone. I remember like one of my favorite things that I went to is I had gone to a party at one of my wife's relatives, and all of the nieces, and there was like a good like 6 of them. They all had phones, and they're all just playing Fortnite.
really.
But in the greatest way. Like I'm talking, like this is a total. There was a LAN party vibe
Okay.
where they were kind of taking turns, and they're trying to do stuff, and they're like laughing as like they were trying to achieve things. It was awesome. Like it was so cool to see them have these devices, and much like your own kids, I think it was clearly kind of the hand-me-down iPhones,
Yeah.
or even Android devices from previous devices. So it was cool that the game that is a cultural touchstone was so easily accessible on so many different devices. So, but then to see these corporations get upset at each other, and the next thing you know, like they've removed it. It's like, that kind of sucks. Like, come on, get back at it.
Yeah.
Now, so the means by which it's arrived back are bizarre, but it's
I'll take it.
fascinating. I'm happy it can be there it's not too difficult, and it's kind of cool to see these companies seemingly starting to like work together a bit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, don't forget, like those are 2 competing stores. Like Epic competes with Microsoft in some ways for game like exclusivities and other parts like that. So to see them kind of hash out some differences to support players.
Yeah, I'm even thinking like again, you've talked about streaming before, and just having this kind of not next level, but it's getting to more people without requiring more subscriptions necessarily. Like at least to start, get people in. But now I'm thinking like, you remember the old phones? They used to come with like flip keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
And now that you have a backbone to support your iPhone with like controller and stuff, maybe phones start coming with like those kind of attachments. Be like, now you can stream all these games. Here's your controller to go with it. Have fun.
I'd be like, I would love to see it, because like phones certainly have gotten boring. Like everything is now just rectangles, like black rectangles. That's
Yeah.
all that the phones exist. You'll remember, or perhaps you won't, but PlayStation actually officially launched a phone.
Yes, I do remember that.
It had, and I think most gaming dads here will remember it, but like it was like a rectangle, except it slid up.
Yep.
But as opposed to a keyboard, it was a gamepad.
Game controller, yeah.
It's just like that's that now. Can you imagine having that system now with game streaming Fortnite on your phone? It would have been. It was before its time.
It was before its time. It was like in the PSP era too, right? Like that was even kind of the Switch before the Switch was popular. It's just, it was there. You didn't grab it. You had the support. You just needed the support.
You were you could have finally buried the 3DS. You blew it.
You blew it completely. Did you ever have that phone? I was
No.
going to get it, but it was not cheap. It was not cheap at the time. So
It wasn't cheap and didn't really have a lot of games. It really was too early.
Yeah.
Like launched today would be great, but all these phones are boring.
well, maybe they bring it back.
So
Who knows? You got the little slide out controller.
come on, Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get this going. Now speaking of like systems that we have, or like where you could play Fortnite, I mean what fascinating thing with my son, I'm sure I don't know how much you can relate to it, or if you've had similar wild requests. So my son's birthday is coming up at the end of the month. It seems like he's starting to talk to friends about it. We're hoping to have some sort of party for him at the house, or possibly a trampoline park. I think I've learned from you not to have a party at my house.
Yes, don't have it at your house. From my experience, no. Go elsewhere.
So I will heed your sage wisdom advice.
Yep.
I will have it somewhere else. But anyway, so he's starting to talk to friends, are starting to muck it up, and he's explaining to me, yeah, my friend, let's call him Max. My friend Max, I'm gonna invite him. It's gonna be great. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, and I asked him to buy me a Switch. I was like,
Wow, what
like,
friends do you have?
yeah, just does your friend Max get dropped off in a limo every day? Like, and even then, that's not cool. You don't, even if you did get dropped off in a limo, that's not an excuse to be asking for. It's like, son, do you have any concept of how expensive it is? No, you don't ask people for a Switch.
Well, Dad, I know the PS5 is not available, so I asked for something
Oh,
that is more readily in
more
the stores.
reasonable.
Yes.
Lord, I just couldn't, like. It's like, man above. It's like, son, do you have any? And I had to try to. So we're working through money. Like, we're trying to get this thing, trying to get him to understand it. And the one recently, he had spent. I think I might have talked about the show, but he'd seen something in a store. He wanted it. I said I wouldn't buy it for him, and he had gone. He's like, Dad, but I have my piggy bank. I have a bunch of my money.
Yeah.
I tried to gently push him away from it because it wasn't going to be a great purchase, but ultimately he was super transfixed upon it. And it's like, yeah, so it's just some action figures from Gujitsu,
Yeah.
which is a made for Netflix, please buy these toys cartoon.
Exactly. It was a merchandise cartoon that
It
came
is so
first.
naked. It is so nakedly. Like, these toys for sure were produced before a
Yeah.
single episode was finished.
Yeah. How do we sell this? I know. A full cartoon.
Netflix.
That's right.
But he went, so he took all his money. It cost him, like, altogether, he spent like $30 to $40.
Wow.
Bought 3 of them.
Premium.
Use them for a week. Hasn't used them much since.
Mm-hmm.
What? Anyway, so that was my in. So I was trying to explain to. Do you remember, son, when you spent all of the money you had saved over a year and a half on like 3 Gujitsu characters? He's like, yeah. It's like, okay, the Switch is like 10 times that. Like, it is much more expensive. He's like, whoa, that caught him. He's like, oh, it's like, yes, it's very expensive. He's like, well, he can just buy it. It's like, no, he can't just buy it, son. It's very expensive.
It's funny now because is he gonna turn around and sell his Gujitsu for like $300 to get a
But the current economy, man, maybe.
Yeah. I need a Switch, man.
Oh, so
Wow.
it was. So we had to walk him back. And the next logical step for him was like, oh, okay, then you guys can just buy me a Switch.
Of course.
You buy me a Switch.
Why not?
It's like, all right, that is too
Gaming
expensive.
dad there, Trevor. I'm just saying, for the show at least.
Okay, us dads, if we can just step aside here for a sec. Dad huddle.
Okay.
I was tempted for myself.
Yeah. I knew it. Yes.
Because if I get him a Switch,
Yeah.
that's another Switch that I can play. And I've been kind of looking interesting. The Switch Lite to me is interesting because it's super low price and it's smaller, cheap. Like, you can tend to pick them up pretty cheap online.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, if we do, they always want to play Minecraft with me on the weekends, and usually, like, I'm doing it through my phone and my backbone,
Right.
which is fine. But if you had a Switch, anyways, but it's still, even then, I still don't. We don't need another one. I could use the one that we have.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dad huddle over. So, but just having to explain this, it's like, you have a Switch. Like, it's perfectly fine. You don't need another one. The Switch, by the way, is also way too expensive for a birthday.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe for like are you at the point where you would buy your kids a console for their birthday or Christmas?
No. I don't think so.
That was a pretty fast no. I thought you were gonna think about it for a second.
We again, we considered something like that through the pandemic. Just because like the first year was overly hard for everyone. And, they hadn't seen their friends and virtual school and all that stuff. And we were considering it just like both get Switches. Like, that's it. That's their only gift for Christmas. But that's kind of like a COVID present as well. Never went through, but was pretty close.
Yeah, just listen. Here's a hail. We get it. This is awful. Just here's a bit of a calming switch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
birthdays.
Even just asking his friend. What I really fear is that the kid. I would love to talk to this kid's parents, because this kid would go home It's like, yeah, my friend Adrian wanted a Switch for his birthday. It's like, I bet he did. I bet he did. Would he like a pony and like a bar of gold too? Like like what are we doing here?
Yeah, it'd be funny if you did talk to them and they're like, "Oh, you, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're just asking for consoles for your kid. I get it.
Looking for handouts, huh?
That's right.
So,
What kind of car you drive? Okay, well, I get it.
it's just the audacity, man. It's just wow.
It's very innocent though. Like my kids have asked for
know.
like bonkers things. I'm like, we're not getting that. There was one that was a huge water slide they wanted when they were younger, like a $500 Costco water slide thing. I'm like,
Oh no.
it's not gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Well, my friend, there's always one friend too.
Oh,
Do you have
yeah.
that yet? Like,
Not yet.
Jacob got this. I'm like, well, Jacob you can go to his house and
Go
play there.
Go play with Jacob, yeah. Stay friends with Jacob. Sounds
Yeah,
great.
that's what life is about. You just, the stuff that you don't want, you just make friends with the people that you want to play with and use their stuff.
My lord. Yeah, so got it. Any gaming dads out there that have similar stories or similar wild requests? I think it's sort of weird actually, because the Switch is probably about the wildest one they've asked for, which means that's pretty tame. Because the Costco water slide, that's good.
Yeah.
That is not only is it expensive, but it's also ludicrous. Like it's great.
Bananas. And I missed the day where like my oldest was when he was 3, asked Santa for a blue cake. That's all they wanted, and that's all they got was a blue cake. Obviously, they're 3, but amazing,
Yeah.
right?
A simpler time.
Not water slides and switches. Come on.
So if any gaming dads out there have their own wild one, I'd love to feature some on the story.
Yeah.
So Wild Kid asks, so that's at New Dad Gaming on Twitter or newdadgaming.com. So we're watching we're watching an unboxing of a Switch OLED, and at the one point I noticed that with one of the nunchucks, they were wrapping a wristband around as they were holding it. And that would be very useful for the recently released title, Switch Sports.
Yes.
And the number, like, if there could be a national chart on television warranty claims, on television replacement purchases to coincide with the release of this game, I would love to see it, because some TVs are done gonna get messed up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This is one game that my kids were looking at, the Switch Sports, and I had to stop. You know that that gaming dad moment where you're just like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Wait, no.
Wait a minute.
What is the worst thing that could possibly happen? And let me consider that scenario. And this is one of those things where, yeah, there might be like a little wristband for the Switch Joy-Cons, but something like tennis and those little teeny Joy-Cons whipping it in their hands with my newish TV upstairs. I don't want necessarily a new TV. I don't want to spend money on a new TV. I would like a new TV. I don't want to spend money on it. But the Joy-Con is very different from the Wii that we have a long time ago, and they played Wii Sports on there with a huge remote, like TV remote style Wii controllers, right? Those are a little bit harder to, like, again, if they fly, it's a missile. But these ones slip out of their hands, and we've done the Mario Party stuff, and we've had like some accidents where the Joy-Con slips on the ground and stuff. So Switch Sports was like, it looks like a cool game. It would be fun, a little bit more active. People would probably like laugh or cry, depending on my kids, like who's beating who at what. But I had to say no to this one because I don't want to go through any of that. I don't want a new TV. I don't want Smash controllers, nothing. So I don't know if you would consider this or not.
I just don't know that it would grab them, because I think about what they really gravitate towards, right? Where it's like Minecraft and the depth of it, like the variety of it, the accomplishment of like building something and rebuilding it. Or even for some reason, something like Mario just keeps grabbing the one son back. Like he just wants to keep going back and playing those levels.
Yeah.
Which I get. I'm trying to think, like, this would be fun for an afternoon. But do they play it for 2 weeks? Do they play it for 3? Is this really going to be like turned into a family activity? Or is it just an afternoon of laughs. Like it seems like a great rental in a world where rentals don't exist anymore.
It does seem like a rental. Yeah, like you make a good point that way too, right? Well, what if they put Minecraft characters in here and then you're playing tennis with
There you go, Steve.
Minecraft, right? Why not?
Steve and a creeper. Yeah,
It's a little
gonna
light.
be fun. Like, I can't wait to watch the Twitter feed is just gonna load up with broken TVs. Like it's absolutely guaranteed.
Did you see? Okay, sorry, we're watching Switch Sports and kind of clips of it. Did you see the amount of space that it shows on screen for two people to play in? Who has a room like that? There's like a cone of both arms. I'm like, there's no way. My kids would be all over each other, hitting each other in the face. There's no way this would happen.
It's fairly like I love that even with some of like the early VR stuff. It was like simply go into your nearest 10 by 20 room and set up, ensure that you have ample space. And like,
Yeah.
have the builders of this ever lived in a recent house? Like it's like, what are we doing here?
Need the generator and go back outside in the park or something. Just there's no space here. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, man, I could see my kids adoring this. The one we're currently watching. We'd watch a game of tennis.
Yeah.
Another one is you almost got like sword fighting. It's sort of like javelin on top of a big beam. You can just see your two kids battling it out, like just laughing as they fall across before it degrades into like absolute
Chaos.
misery and screaming.
It'd be chaos. This one, it worries me the most. Like, yeah, it would be fun, but it's sword fighting, and that thing's gonna be like they're gonna be hitting each other with Joy-Cons pretty much. Like, just
in real life, it's like the real one's not going, so you just turn to your side and like bop them on the head to get your point.
yeah. Though I would mount them to like lightsabers. We have a couple lightsabers. That would be kind of cool to.
That'd be pretty. Sometimes like this. That's just the dad sirens going off.
Yeah.
You have this new dad sense where you see a game. It's like then your kids could play this, and you watch it, and you're like, there are 3 scenarios, and none of them are ones that I like. So
No.
this is a bad idea.
Exactly.
You gotta cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, now that I wanted to ask you has your kid ever gotten into telling jokes?
Oh, good
Because
ones.
mine, well, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Like, because my kids were starting today, and after dinner, and we're just kind of hanging out with each other, talking, and they just started to like try to tell me jokes.
Nice.
So bad.
Yeah.
It's not even, bad would have been fine, but it was like the jokes made any sense at all. Especially my youngest, bless his heart. It was just, it's like, Dad, do you know why the cow had to eat grass? And like, I don't know, son. Well, because he did, and then the farmer came and he went to the barn and then he farted.
I mean, that's how you start. It's the fart
Like
jokes.
Farts are funny.
They
What can
are.
I tell you? So just and then I would actually string together some. I'll tell you this. I felt a bit of a failure from the show.
Oh no.
Because if anybody should have some dad jokes, just like
Right.
ready to have the one guy that should have it.
You're slipping.
And I blanked, man. I didn't have much. Like I was able to pull out a couple, but they weren't even really dad jokes. It's like, why did the cat like its collar? Because it fit perfectly. Man,
Oh, dude, come
But
on.
that's not even a dad joke. Because like
It's
a dad
not.
joke hurts. Like a dad joke is painful. It's like why would you do this to me?
Yeah.
Like what was the one I heard? It's like son, you have to study, you have to go to school, you have to learn math. There's over 85% of kids these days knows how to do math, and I'll be damned if you're one of the 45% that doesn't.
And then it's just like blank faces. Like,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's more of a dad joke for sure. But yeah, so anyways, so I said like the perfect one, or like why is the tree always going? Because it always has to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I gave some of the classics, and
that's good.
just in the context, I got to feel like a real stand-up comic. Like they were roaring.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They'd say they're terrible jokes. In its own funny way, they're pretty damn hilarious because they're so off.
Yeah.
There's no logic. There's no punchline.
Yeah.
There's no point. But just how wild and out of left field it is makes it kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's so unfunny, it becomes funny. Like,
Like
have your
dad
kids
jokes.
successfully told you a funny joke where they caught you and you legitimately laughed?
My 9-year-old is getting way better at telling jokes and making their own.
That's not an answer though.
Legitimately have laughed. Like a
Okay, good.
like a the dad like that was a good one. Yeah, no, there've been some good ones, and again, like originals, like totally made up themselves, and my 11-year-old can't tell a joke at all, or even takes the jokes a little bit literally. So I think that's just not going to happen. My 9-year-old star, they're going to be up
Nice.
there on that stage soon, and we rate in our house. So like when you
That's
when
so
you tell a
good.
joke, level 1 to 10, that's how that's the bar. Sorry. Going forward, no, level 2. Not gonna laugh.
That's a force.
Just
Then
ruthless.
I'm sorry. Just cutting each other up.
Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to it. I like the thought of like in future when they come to me with a real rib tickler, and I'm just when they literally get me, and I can just laugh. I can recall I had an uncle, and he had the funniest laugh. He was easy. He was relatively easy to make laugh. He just loved laughing. He was good and easy to make laugh, and it's the biggest, most joyous, happiest laugh. So I loved hearing him laugh.
Yeah. The contagious.
So every time so every single time we went to see him, we'd always come with like as many possible jokes as we could.
Nice.
to try to elicit that. So what I'm waiting for is like if the kids are coming at me and they're actually making me laugh.
Yeah.
At some point with a joke, like that seems phenomenal. I can't wait.
You're gonna steal their jokes.
Yeah, then I bring that material here.
That's right. And then I look forward to hearing that and just being like level 4. Sorry, try next time.
That's like, I'll quit you. They're my research factory. Hey, and on that on that rib tickling of a session, we'll wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, you can help us a lot by subscribing to it. You can find us on all your popular podcasting networks, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. A subscription really helps, but even more than that is a rating and a comment. Doing so really boosts the signal, and we're really trying in these next little while to get out to as many gaming dads as possible. So we'd really appreciate that. As a comment, why not leave a great dad joke? We'll read it here on air. For anything else. If you want to get a hold of the show, either with a dad joke, a wild story from something your kid asked for their birthday, or anything else dad and gaming related, we'd love to hear from you. It's one of the favorite parts of doing this show now. You can find us at our Twitter, at NewDadGaming, or our website, newdadgaming.com. So again, can't thank you enough for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming, and until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and an Epic Games account somewhere.
You have a few. Your son can get you games now. Yeah. You got a man on the inside.
That's right.
Remember, folks, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.